I'm Ashanti McKinney, and today I would like to take about 5 minutes or so to discuss an ongoing issue in our country. That issue being obesity. So, let's just say you've had a very stressful day at work or at school, and the last thing on your mind is, gee, what am I going to eat for night? Or maybe you're so upset that you want the food and you just want it now. So, you do what almost all Americans do, and you go to the closest fast food restaurant, get a supersized meal, and you indulge it in your car and think about the consequences later. Most families try to set out to limiting themselves to this great luxury of fast and quick food to only once a week, but who actually sticks to that cruel restriction? Throughout this speech, I would like to discuss what the causes of obesity are, the risk and consequences of being obese, and also how is our society as a whole trying to raise awareness to this ongoing issue in our country. So first, let's begin with unpacking what causes a person to become obese. Obesity is an ongoing disease in the United States, and much to our disbelief, it is more than just someone constantly overeating. According to my studies, obesity's definition is the abnormal accumulation of fat, in most cases usually 20% or more. Studies also show that more than 50% of Americans are to be overweight. Now, the question everyone has, what causes this? Most people would assume that obesity is just someone being lazy or constantly overeating greasy and fatty foods, but that's not always the case for everyone. The exact cause of obesity is actually still unclear, but several doctors have narrowed it down to a bunch of different factors. Some factors being a sedentary lifestyle that one lives, which is when a person lives a life with little to no physical activity and indulges on junk food. Another factor is bad eating habits, which is when a person just, chooses to eat things that they know they should not eat, or they choose to eat all fatty foods and no vegetables. They don't have a lean diet. And another factor would be another factor would be a psychological factor, such as depression and low self-esteem. And with that, some people choose to turn to food instead of speaking to a therapist or a family member. Now that we know what causes this common disease, let's discuss the two most obvious risks of being obese. There are several risks of being obese, but to put them into two separate categories, I would have to pick physical risk and psychological risk. To talk about the physical risk, there are many chronic diseases that can come along when you are obese. One of the common ones being type 2 diabetes, which requires strict dieting, insulin shots, and also puts you at risk for death if you do not follow the rules that are given to you by your doctor by changing your diet and your lifestyle. Another risk you can have physically for being obese is you can attract cardiovascular diseases, which lead to heart attacks, strokes, and also will leave you a constant chest pain throughout the rest of your life. The worst physical risk that you can get from being obese is ultimately death. Throughout certain cases of obesity, the person has obtained too much fat and it is hard for them to lose the weight. And its body parts are overworking itself to support the unwanted weight and ultimately results in the body shutting down, which causes the person to pass away. To talk about psychological risk of being obese, the number one would be depression. Many obese people or people that are overweight are ashamed of their body because of what they see on social media and what they think the general public likes. So instead of changing it, they just get upset and depressed, and their go-to obviously is food. They see constantly what society wants them to look like, or they will reminisce on what they used to look like, or in some cases, people just went through something very traumatic and they all choose food as their outlet. That's the psychological part. Instead of going to seek help, they choose food to help them. Now that we are aware of the causes of obesity and its risks, let's discuss how our society is raising awareness to the problem. The initial changing of an obese person starts with a great support system, such as the society the person is around. There are so many TV shows on today that showcase obese people and their challenges and judgments, but also how those people overcome it. Shows such as The Biggest Loser, My 600-Pound Life, Family by the Ton, etc. They all show the journey of an overweight person, and even on some episodes, they do follow-ups on how the person has changed after they lost the weight, after they changed their diet, and after they have received the surgery. Aside from TV, social media is also a huge help when raising awareness to this problem. Celebrities promote having fun while exercising. They also promote healthy and safe diets. Our previous First Lady, Michelle Obama, has also contributed to this ongoing epidemic by pushing schools to change their lunches, by having kids opt out cell phones for exercise, and etc. Aside from social media and celebrities, there are a number of programs and corporate facilities that assist and promote healthy living and exercising, such as the YMCA. The YMCA specifically has made specific commitments to improving the health of many people by providing fruits and vegetables in their aftercare services. Obesity in America is an ongoing and comes from many causes, includes many risks, but can be reduced with the help of our society. I would just like to restate that obesity is ongoing, and although we may never be able to stop it, we can